This next section is one of my favorite topics, nutrition. What to eat, what to supplement, what is going to get me closer to my goals the fastest. I get this question in the gym more than probably any other question. Hey man, what kind of protein powder do you take? What kind of amino acids do you take? What kind of creatine do you take? Or on the female side, hey, what diet pill makes you lose the most amount of weight but doesn't make you jittery? I don't like to be jittery. You see, these are the questions I get all the time, and there's a lot of ignorance, surrounding nutrition and supplementation. So I'm going to give you some good rule of thumbs, dispel a few myths, so that you can make your, an educated decision on whether you're going to supplement with over-the-counter stuff, or whether what types of foods you're going to eat to help you get closer and closer to your goal. So let's start off with something foundational. The most important meals of the day. There are 3 for those who are working out. When you wake up in the morning, first thing in the morning, this would be your breakfast, your meal, your first meal after sleeping for 6-8 hours, whatever it is. If you're working out, by the way, let me touch on this for a second. Rest is important. If you're someone who can get away with 3-4 hours of sleep, and you're fine with that. If you're working out, you'll be doing yourself a disservice if that's all you sleep. You'll get closer to your goals if you're sleeping 6 to 8 hours at least. That's very important. You burn fat when you're sleeping, so you build muscle while you're sleeping. So try to get yourself in the habit of sleeping more. So getting back to your meals, the first meal of the day is of utmost importance. You've fasted for 6 to 8 hours, your body's rebuilt muscle, it's burned fat. That means it's used up a lot of nutrients, a lot of raw materials. You need to replenish that, or else it's not going to do it anymore. So that first meal is very important. Then the second most important meal is the meal right before your workout. And the third most important meal is the meal right after your workout. So this is where I want to focus my attention. What should you eat in those meals? Well, the first meal of the day, you want to make sure you get a good amount of carbohydrates. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that limit their carbohydrates. But if you're going to say you're going to do a low-carb diet and you've set your goal as only 100 grams of carbs, I would probably put a third to a half of those carbs in that first meal. It's not going to make you fat. You're going to utilize insulin at that moment to replenish what you lost after not eating for 6 to 8 hours. That is the one meal you want to have some carbohydrates with, and you're not going to get the negative effects of insulin, which is something your body responds to carbs with. Now, the second most important meal of the day before working out. Why? We need quick available energy before working out. But we have to be careful with this meal because it's easy to overdo it. If you say, well, I got to go work out, so I got to go, I got to go to Dairy Queen and get a good amount of carbohydrates to fuel my workout. That you can get enough calories that what you're going to do in the gym is not going to count as far as calorie burning, because in a meal you can easily do 2,000 to 3,000 calories. So keep in mind that at some point you're going to have diminishing return. So be moderate with this meal right before a workout. Go for a very complex carbohydrate, or what I like to call a slow digesting carbohydrate before a workout. Brown rice, something like buckwheat, quinoa, oats, sweet potatoes. These are great slow digesting carbohydrates. Keep it at, if you're doing 50% of your carbs in the morning, then this would be a good time to do 25% of your carbs before working out, just to get yourself through the workout so you're working with a good amount, enough energy to go 100% intensity during the workout. Okay? That's the purpose of the pre-workout meal. Now, the question often arises, well, what about a protein shake? This would be a good time for a protein shake, especially one that's digesting quickly, and I'm talking about whey. Whey has a very high biological value. Your body's going to be able to assimilate it fairly quickly, especially if you're using like a whey isolate. But all wheys in general are going to be utilized pretty quickly. You know, there's a lot of gimmicks out there. This is, you know, the fastest whey protein. Whey is whey. Don't get caught up in spending all your money on supplements when the most important thing is food. Supplements are just that. They supplement our foods. They're not a mainstay. So you take your supplement just to add convenience to your workouts or to your day or to your lifestyle, but the answer is always food. Food works best. Supplements are secondary. So if you do have the money to buy a supplement like a whey protein, this would be a good time to use it. I would probably, you know, if you're making a whey protein shake, I might add a fruit like some strawberries, frozen strawberries, and maybe some oats. Maybe this is a good time to have oats with that. And that would be a good carbohydrate source with a fast-acting protein. Post-workout, here's a time when we can indulge a little bit more on the faster releasing carbohydrates. These tend to be sweeter and less complex. So this would be a good time to have something like white rice, for example. I don't really suggest you have this all the time. This is a very special meal. This is a meal that we do want to elicit an insulin response, because insulin is going to feed our muscle cells so we can recover faster from a workout. So at this point, if you're going to have fruit, this is going to be a good time. Fruit's going to replenish liver glycogen, which then will allow us to replenish muscle glycogen. So a little bit of fruit, pasta if necessary. Maybe that's a B choice, but it's definitely a very valid choice post-workout. White rice, a potato. A sweet potato is what you would have any other time. White potato, just a plain potato, I'm sorry, would be ideal at this point. Something that's starchy, that's going to break down pretty quickly. And you also want, at this point, to utilize a fast-acting protein. So if you're going with foods, I would recommend like a fish, something that you can break down easily. A whey protein shake would be good at this time to recover. And so if you're doing, you know, that same breakdown, 50% in the morning, 25, here's where you would have the last 25% of your total daily carb intake if you're trying to keep your carbs low. If you don't care about carbs, I would have this as a pretty high carb meal. So that's what you want to do. Now I want to get into some specific supplements because I get this question a lot. Weight loss. What's most important for weight loss? I think you'd be surprised, but it's a simple thing. Caffeine in coffee is very good for weight loss. Now, do I recommend drinking pots of coffee a day? No. I think you should treat coffee as a drug that it is. It is a stimulant, and you might as well get the best out of it. If you like drinking coffee, save your coffee for in the morning, maybe before working out. Before working out, you get a little extra push, maybe a little extra kick to your step, which will translate to more calories. Caffeine will also stimulate your metabolism to a certain extent. You'll be able to burn more calories. So there is a definite benefit to caffeine if used correctly and for a very definitive purpose. Green tea is also a good alternative. It's a great antioxidant. So again, you could take it before and after a workout. That would be great as well. No caloric value there, no carbohydrates, just a little bit of caffeine and some antioxidants. So on the weight loss side, that's what I would recommend, keeping it simple. I would stay away from these gimmicky weight loss products. Not that they will not curb your appetite, not that they won't help you lose weight, but you have to ask yourself the question, when do I come off of it? and how quickly do I gain all that weight that I lost? That's the ultimate question. You have to realize that your best alternative to losing weight, or the best choice you can make to getting closer to your goal, is a lifestyle change, not a pill that you take. If we can understand that, you will have an easy time losing weight. So make sure that you understand that part of it. It's all about lifestyle changes. Now, for those that are looking to add muscle size and strength, it's all about recovery. So I want to recommend just a couple of supplements. Creatine, there's been some issues with that. I think in some athletes it's caused dehydration. It's very important that if you are going to use creatine, which, make no mistake about it, creatine is very helpful in boosting the amount of reps you can use at a certain weight. So that will stimulate more muscle growth. With creatine, you have to drink a lot of water. It draws water into muscle cells. That's part of the reason it works so well, and we see an increase in body weight. But that leaves less water for everything else. So make sure you're drinking enough water. When I hear of athletes having issues, it's normally because of this. So far, there's nothing that's very definitive about its causing of any health concerns. So it's not the first thing I go to, but it does do a good job in increasing the amount of reps you can do. Glutamine is another great product, probably the number one that I would recommend outside of a whey protein. Glutamine is the most abundant amino acid in the body, but it's the amino acid that gets depleted the most during workouts. So it's important to bring that back. Not only is it important for that, it's important in recovering for example, post-surgical trauma, in this case, muscle trauma, but it's also very important for digestive health. So glutamine might be something you invest in, and a good whey protein. Don't fall prey for all these gimmicks of this whey is better for that. Just get a good whey protein. Whey protein is not cheap, so if you're getting it for a very low price, be wary. Good protein to supplement throughout the day. It's better than going and getting a hamburger at McDonald's. If that's what you have to do, then do that. Have a protein shake. It's better to have a meal, but have a protein shake instead of getting that hamburger at McDonald's. Fast food in general, okay? Not trying to pick on McDonald's, but fast food in general. So these are the supplements I would kind of rely on. Everything else, there's usually some purpose to them, but we're talking about foundational things, and we're talking about people who are getting started in their journey to get closer to their goals.